Welcome to the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast. We don't shy away and keep secrets here. We empower you with education, telling you the truth about all things aesthetic medicine while encouraging you to be the best version of yourself. It's time to look great and feel good doing it. This is your host, mom, speaker, and board-certified physician, Dr. Judith Borger.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast. This is episode 99, and I'm your host, Dr. Judith Borger, physician, aesthetic expert, and believer that confidence starts with knowledge and not filters. Now, this is 2025, almost 2026. And of course, social media has taken over the world for years now, probably for decades now, but it's getting more and more when we look at the sheer time people spend on social media platforms a day. So there is a lot bubbling up on TikTok around aesthetics. Some are useful. Some are more hype than substance. And we know that a well-placed TikTok viral trend can absolutely send everybody into a frenzy, right? One viral post, one viral video can create a new must-have procedure, and one misinformed trend can create a wave of unsafe results, overdone. We have heard many TikTok challenges where people seriously got hurt. Today, we're unpacking a little bit of what's trending, what's true, and what is total TikTok fiction. In this day and age, the line between inspiration and misinformation has really never been thinner, and it is one of the reasons, honestly, that I host this podcast, because I do think that it's so important that there are voices out there that share information instead of misinformation, that really come from experts, that come from physicians and not influencers. So, if you've been on TikTok lately or Instagram or whatever your favorite social media platform is, or honestly just been inside of a beauty conversation lately, you've probably heard somebody say, "Oh, I saw this on TikTok, I want that." And especially now that there's TikTok Shop, that all the TikTok influencers make money not just by their viral views, and sometimes the more shocking, the more views it gets, but also by promoting products. That has even pushed the idea of promoting procedures, or products, whether they're safe or not, even more, because there's a real financial gain. Now, whether it's like baby Botox, Ozempic face, or chin straps that sculpt your jawline overnight, social media is really rewriting the way we think about beauty and treatments, and it's not always in ways that serves us. Today, we're talking a little bit about the truths, the myths, and the micro movements that are shaping modern aesthetics. What's real, what's risky, and what's just really good, trendy viral marketing. So again, if you're a patient, if you're a provider, if you're anybody who lives in this world and who's on social media or has patients, friends, children. I mean, think about all of those Sephora kids trends, the children fridges, for beauty products, the teen skincare routines. It's just crazy what social media has done to our ever-changing world of aesthetic trends. Let's dive in. What are some of the trends shaping modern aesthetics? When I look at what's been trending and what's been viral in 2025 on social media, we know that TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, I mean, Facebook is not for old people, aren't just entertainment, but they're really like what we back in the day had, like the new beauty magazines, right? So they're the new beauty magazines, they're the new word of mouth, and they're sort of the new education system for all things aesthetic medicine, which is really, really powerful because their reach is millions and billions, but it's also dangerous. So let's start with sort of the biggest shifts that I've seen from trends shaping modern aesthetics this year. And you've all seen them. You've either watched them or scrolled past them. So the first trend, I think, of 2025 is the like less is more, the sort of the rise of the natural look. On TikToks, you'll see hashtags like hashtag natural talks or hashtag reverse the filler look. And then we're having videos of people dissolving their old filler, embracing movement, and sort of celebrating the return to a little bit more natural aesthetics. And this is sort of a clear backlash to the overfilled, overfrozen faces that used to dominate the aesthetic landscape. And if you've been to some aesthetic conventions, especially a couple of years ago, some of the injectors even, you would like see them in real life and be like, damn. But anyway, honestly, I love this trend. The natural look, I've always been one to advocate for a natural look, for enhancing you, enhancing your natural beauty. And when you even look at me and my patients, we love the subtle, less is more, strategically placed. And I've done a lot of episodes on other ways that we can reverse aging, make ourselves look good, that are a little bit more naturally based by stimulating your own collagen. I love RF microneedling. I love all of the biostimulators, obviously lasers. This less is more, rise of the natural look. I totally love, love, love this. And this movement really reminds me and reminds us all that the goal isn't perfection, it's presence. It's about looking refreshed, alive, and in harmony with your features, not sort of editing into it someone else's face. And as providers, it really like challenges us to refine our craft, to create those subtle, intelligent, beautiful results that photograph well and look human in motion. Because sometimes, like, I have treated some influencers, and it's really actually funny though that, you know, sometimes though what they say on TikTok and what happens in real life is very different. So that's the other thing I want to say. Just because somebody jumps on a trend, just because somebody preaches it, we know this from celebrities and influencers alike that they will totally say, oh no, I'm all natural. Oh no, I just use olive oil. And then 28 plastic surgeries later, it's very easy to pretend that, oh, all I use for skincare is baby oil, yeah, and 100 units of Botox and 3 facelifts and all this stuff. So, I mean, that's my other thing to say. What people say on TikTok and Instagram is not real. And I have 100% treated some influencers, not for money, so we haven't posted them, but in real life. And some of them I didn't even recognize walking through the door. Meaning when they show up just themselves with no makeup, no filters, no camera on them, and then you look at their TikTok and you're like, oh, damn, this is the same person for realsies? Again, just because so much can be filtered, so much can be done with makeup. And even when people sometimes say, oh, this is how I wake up, that doesn't mean this is really how they wake up, or this might be how they wake up and then they throw a filter on it or a special lens or something like that. So I also want you to know that I am all for the natural look and don't believe everything on TikTok. But yes, the less is more, the rise of the natural look, the using collagen stimulation and RF microneedling and strategically placed filler is what I'm 100% about. Now, the second big wave or big trend is really this pre-rejuvenation waves or baby Botox. Let's talk about that. Or as TikTok calls it, the preventable or preventive injectables. And it's really this idea that younger patients, sometimes even as early in their 20s, are seeking smaller, frequent doses of neurotoxin to sort of stop aging before it starts. And there is a little bit of a nuanced truth for that. So number one, there is definitely the truth to the idea that early intervention can help preserve smooth skin and delay deeper lines. And there's the big but here. More is not always better, right? You can definitely start too aggressive and sort of also create this like psychological dependency. And I definitely have seen patients that from other providers in their 20s or 30s have gotten these aggressive like skin resurfacing full face CO2 lasers for really no apparently reason other than that they were willing to pay for it. So I definitely am in camp that yes, I wish I would have started earlier. Let me just tell you that. And it's like everything. If you take care of your skin, but you know what's really important? Don't smoke. Put your sunscreen on every day. Take care of your skin like you take care of your health. You're absolutely right. You can prevent some degree of the visible signs of aging. And I'm a big fan of the baby Botox. We strategically place it where those expression lines start. We give you that smooth glow, that tox glow. And again, I kind of love this trend as long as it's done safely, because sometimes, again, younger patients come to me and they want these procedures that really I'll have to be like, you know what, why don't we just start with microneedling? Because you don't even have enough X, Y, and Z to justify this other thing. So I'm all for it as long as it's done safely. And there are definitely some procedures that in most circumstances, I would not do on somebody in their 20s, but I believe in baby Botox. I believe in a degree of preventative injectables. And as somebody who came from a sun worshiping era, I definitely wish that we would have all known what we know now and taken care of our skins earlier instead of sitting in tanning beds and tanning with olive oil. So I'm all about the pre-rejuvenation wave. So, you know, if you're thinking about trying Botox or something like that for the first time, the idea is that it's like skincare. It's maintenance, it's not magic, and you really want balance and not a frozen filter. But pre-rejuvenation wave, I'm for it like I'm for the rise of the natural look in number one. So far, we're doing good. And now the third one I want to talk about is the power of sort of the screenshot. And this is sort of one of the most challenging trends that I'm going to address. And that is when people walk in with screenshots of their favorite celebrity or their favorite influencer, and they'll be like, I want this jawline, these lips, this exact look. And those are great, but they're inspiration pictures. Again, we used to cut out Jennifer Aniston's hairstyle back in the day out of the magazine and bring it to our hairdressers. Same thing. It's been like that forever. And sort of TikTok trends are visual poetry, they're inspiration, they're not anatomy textbook, right? What looks like a snatched jawline on one face and one angle might be a completely different structure or lighting angle on yours. Bring the inspiration pictures. I love them, but also bring an open mind to my office, right? This is where collaboration happens. This is where artistry and the art in me meets medicine. Most of the time, we're going to talk about, okay, what do you love about this? What would you like your face to look more like? What exactly about this picture is the thing that turns you on? And, then we go over their features and their anatomy, and we really talk about what we could do to work towards that goal. And sometimes it is like different things than what they think. Yes, a lot of times it is maybe a jawline filler, a chin filler. Sometimes it's also then adding something strategically in the temples. I love it for lips. Again, I always tell people I have a syringe, not a scalpel, but I love inspiration pictures. However, I do need people to also bring an open mind and again, realize that angles can do a lot, filters can do a lot. That's also the artistry in both photography, right? And aesthetics. So let's talk about the darker side of all of this, because with every great viral trend, there is often sort of a shadow side, the misinformation, the unrealistic expectations, and what we call the DIY disasters. And number one here are the DIY aesthetic hacks, right? There is the chin straps while you sleep hacks, the ice your face every morning to lift it, the use this LED mask for instant jawline definition. And some are harmless and some are not so harmless. First of all, a lot of it, like I said in the intro, is really great marketing, and it's a lot of people recommending products because they get paid to recommend products, and some influencers get paid a lot, incredible amounts of money to recommend products. And so realize that when your favorite influencer says, oh, I use this every day, it's probably because somebody paid them a lot of money to say that, or it's because they get a percentage of every sale. So number one, I want to say that this is sort of the modern day infomercial, and it's sort of the entertainment and marketing all in one. And so the first thing I want you to know is that most of the time when influencers recommend something, it's either their own brand, it's that they get a percentage commission through their TikTok shop, or that a company has paid them a lot of money to talk about their products. First of all, know this, and then most of the DIY aesthetic hacks don't really work, or they work like minimally. Again, if they don't cause no harm and you want to improve your circulation by doing certain lymphatic massage or ice your face, that's fine, but don't expect the outcomes that these things promise. And nothing is instant. That if anything worked as well as professional procedures or surgery, like the world would have already known about it and everybody would use it and I would be out of a job. So some of these are kind of harmless, silly, or like LED actually over time can give you moderate results. It's not instant, but I'm all for the home LED masks. I think the chin straps while you sleep is kind of silly. There's a lot of products that are overhyped and that are sold to people. And the thing about it is always that if you really saved your money and got real, proven treatments done by a professional, you would get lots better results. I think that's also my problem, is that a lot of people spend a lot of money being influenced, being marketed to, and influencers are really kind of lying because they're getting paid mainly to promote this. Who knows if it's even part of their own beauty routine. They obviously all have big budgets to do their lasers, do their facials, do their injectables. And so I guess my problem is a little bit too that the end consumers, I have some friends that always send me new products they are buying off TikTok, and I'm always like, you're spending hundreds of dollars buying some product that's really not proven, when if you really spent that on a true laser procedure or a true Botox or a true whatever, you would have proven good outcomes versus spending it on another wasteful gadget. But that is sort of like that junk drawer at Sephora, where you can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars of Sephora. And my recommendation would really be like, instead of having a junk drawer full of stuff that you've bought for hundreds and thousands of dollars at Sephora, why don't we just get you 5 clinical grade products that you're using and that actually help your skin. So it's that same thing, I think, for me with a little bit of the beauty products, even the ones that are harmless. You're still spending money for something that probably is more like snake oil and doesn't have a lot of effect or has moderate effect at best, when we have evidence-based, really good treatments and techniques that I can stand behind and guarantee results. But those are the harmless ones. Some of them are really not that harmless. So a few months ago, there was a viral video. It went so viral that showed people using hyaluronic acid pens to inject filler at home. And I cannot stress this enough. This is effing dangerous. I mean, so dangerous. This can cause infections, scarring, blindness, permanent damage, terrible results, no sterility. Like, hyaluron pens are like evil, and I've done a whole episode on them early if you want to read about it, why hyaluron pens are bad. But there is all of these trends where people, I've had a patient come in fairly recently who from a TikTok video, then ordered like some illegal filler from China and injected it into her own chin. Now, that is a freaking disaster. First of all, thank God she didn't get like an actual vascular occlusion that led to skin necrosis or blindness. But let me tell you, that cosmetic result was not good. And now we were trying to fix it, and who knows if it even dissolves and what was used and all of the things. And it was a total freaking disaster. And in the end, like, she ended up, I mean, first of all, she was really lucky that she didn't get a serious side effect. But even on the aesthetic side, don't inject yourself with filler at home just because TikTok tells you to. So, medical aesthetics is medicine. It's not a beauty hack. So there's a reason I'm a board certified physician and all of my staff is certified. It's not a beauty hack, right? There is a reason we know your anatomy better than a filter does or an algorithm, right? So please, 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 always be safe. And then the next sort of dark side I want to talk about is like misinformation and what I call the algorithm effect. So one of the sobering facts about TikTok is that multiple studies have found that most TikTok videos about injectables or fillers are not made by medical professionals. They're made by influencers, okay? Influencers, non-credentialed practitioners, and sometimes even AI. And the algorithm and what goes viral doesn't reward accuracy. It does not reward medical information being correct. It rewards attention. It rewards shock value. It rewards like the craziest, most attention-getting thing. And a lot of times, like, practicing safe, subtle aesthetics is not shocking or attention-getting. The loudest voices, the viral trends that go super viral, they aren't always the right ones, okay? I want to just repeat that. Most TikTok videos that are made about aesthetics are not made by anybody with medical professional backgrounds. And the algorithm doesn't care. It just cares about what's trending. It's like those shock newspapers, right? They don't care if they're right. They just care that people watch. As a patient, as a consumer, always check credentials, ask questions, and remember, a viral video is not the same as a consult with me or any other aesthetic practitioner. Number 3 about the dark side is really the emotional tell, the comparison culture. So this is one we don't talk about enough. It's the emotional side. Social media can subtly shift our sense of what's normal. You see the same beautiful, perfect, filtered faces again and again, and they're like luxurious, fun lifestyles. And suddenly your very human, very expressive face and life starts to feel wrong. The truth here, though, is that beauty isn't uniform, it's nuanced. Your proportions, your asymmetries, your uniqueness, those are what make you beautiful. It's real life versus filtered artificial TikTok life. That is not the same thing, okay? Think about like maybe your wedding pictures or your perfect photo shoot. That's not what I look like in the pickup line, okay? For school. In my practice, the most striking results always come from enhancing authenticity, not from erasing it. So, really think about it at real life and an alternate life. Don't think about it as real life. It's not real life. So, please, again, this is all about embracing yourself, embracing self love, and realizing that what you see on Instagram and TikTok is not real. Now, how do we navigate a world where trends move faster than aesthetics? So, this is really empowered beauty and what we can all do. Now, for patients, the number one thing is vetting your sources, right? Check credentials. Make sure that the person sharing advice is licensed, trained, and also transparent about what they're doing. Anytime there's a product placement, it's a paid product placement. Be really aware of that, is that's the way influencers get paid, by creating more shock value, by having companies say, hey, if you do 3 posts about this product, I pay you this much. Or if you promote this on TikTok Shop, you get 20% of every sale. So check credentials, vet your sources, and again, listen to who the advice is coming from. This is why I created a podcast. That's why a lot more physicians are being visible and speaking our voices, so that the voices that can be heard in this like sea of like noise are ones that give you accurate information. And then ask real questions instead of how do I get that look and become a carbon copy? Like maybe think about what would make me feel refreshed and confident. And then again, it's consistency. We really, and I say this over and over again, I prioritize consistency over novelty. The best skin, the best features, the best results, they come from regular, thoughtful care, not from chasing every trend that hits your feed, right? Consistency is so important. Small things that build on each other, regular skin maintenance. And yes, I'm all for the natural trend, I'm for the preventables, but consistency, don't jump on every novelty trend. And also, your skin's unique, your face is unique. So, what would make one person's lips look a certain way won't make yours look the certain way. Like, yes, bring me the inspo pictures and we will talk about what's possible. We'll talk about how we can get there. Now, and the same that I want to tell other providers is we need people like myself and other physicians, nurse injectors, nurse practitioners to stay visible and credible and post educational content. This is not about competing for clients. This is really competing for truth. And I really use social media as a conversation starter. When a patient brings me a trend, I lean in. I ask them, what do you really want underneath the look? It's not really about often a snatched jawline. It's about wanting to feel confident. It's about wanting to feel vibrant. It's about sort of the underneath feeling that we're chasing. And then this is why I speak up, because I'm trying to help reclaim the narrative. The more experts like myself speak up, the less room there is for misinformation and crazy, possibly harmful trends to thrive. I mean, I feel like behind every TikTok viral trend, like there has been deaths and injuries and permanent injuries that nobody claims responsibility for. I want to just reframe the sort of story about TikTok. I don't think social media is the villain in the story. It's a mirror. It's a mirror to us all. It reflects back what we're searching for and sometimes what we're avoiding. When we learn to use that mirror wisely, it is really to get inspiration, not instruction. It can become our tool for empowerment and not for distorting our lives. So, the next time there is a trend that goes viral or something that you want to purchase or something that you think you really need, I really implore you to pause and ask yourself, is this helping me connect with my authentic beauty and my well-being, or is this making me chase after something outside of me? Like, the real aesthetic evolution is one that starts with inner beauty always, and inner confidence and inner well-being. So anyway, this is my thoughts on navigating the wild world of aesthetic TikTok. If you love this episode, share it with a friend, share it with your favorite injector, share it with your children, teenagers especially. And if you're new here, please subscribe so you'll never miss an episode that helps you make empowered, evidence-based choices about beauty, confidence, and your well-being. And until next time, my friends, stay curious, stay radiant, and remember, your beauty was never meant to be filtered.
Thank you for listening to the Aesthetic Doctor podcast with Dr. Judith Borger. We'd love to connect with you outside of the show. Follow Dr. Borger on Instagram at Dr. Borger and find more online and ways to work with Dr. Borger at www.theaestheticdoctor.com. Until next time, be well.